I'm Kira Po and I've been indoor skydiving for around 12 or 13 years. I think indoor skydiving has made me definitely the person I am today. Competing ever since I was a child, I've been competing for over 11 years now. It's really taught me about the sacrifice needed, the hard work, the determination, and the amount of effort I have to put in if I want to see results. Definitely, there's a lot of sacrifices that goes into competing for your country that not everyone sees. Definitely, as we grow up, we sacrifice our time with our friends or sacrifice our time from school. And it really takes 120% of our effort to be able to bring ourselves all the way to different competitions and to represent our nation. I'm very lucky that our Singaporean family is really strong. We're not just competitors and teammates, but we're one big, really happy family, and I think that it's nice to see how everyone supports each other, even though sometimes we're in the same category competing with one another. Definitely representing my country in Singapore is a huge honor, and I've been really blessed to be given this amazing opportunity. It definitely comes with a lot of pressure, and it takes a lot of control with how we deal with our emotions. I think that that's something that was new for me that I have to kind of deal with now, is that if I'm given certain kinds of expectations, I need to know how to categorize my emotions and really put focus into my flying versus focusing on what other people are saying or the thoughts that are in the back of my mind. I think not a lot of people really see how difficult it is to compete. Definitely it's amazing to be in Slovakia and to be with the team, but sometimes pushing ourselves to our 120% for every single session, training back to back and in this warm heat of the tunnel, it is really challenging. So yeah.
My name is Jamali, and I've been indoor skydiving for about 7 years now, and that's like half of my life. One of the major sacrifices that we all have to make is basically a lot of our free time, because now that when we travel for competitions, we have to juggle our schoolwork as well as training every single day. So it's really hard to get any time to like relax or cool down when we're trying to juggle so many different things at once. I've learned so many different things, that I've made many mistakes, but those mistakes really help build my character as an athlete, as a sports person, and I don't think I'll change any of that. Being an athlete not only has a lot of like the physical demanding parts of it, but also really mentally it's really hard. So before like a competition, when we're really nervous, getting over those nerves and like using it to make you more like focused and more determined to do your best, I think that's really the hardest part.
Hello, I'm Tobias. I've been flying for 8 years now. The sacrifices that I had to make to be on this level of flying is, it takes a lot of time to train. So definitely cut out a little bit of my social life, and now it's more about training and getting the results and fly more and more.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I've been doing indoor skydiving for close to 12 years. Feels like it's really been like indoor skydiving has become part of basically my daily life, and that if I didn't have it, if I don't continuously do it like at least once a week, I'll feel really off. Before I worked in a team, I would be very shy to talk about what I felt to other people. And so being able to work in a team has allowed me to give what I think, how I feel, my opinions on certain things, like what move could be better, what could be changed. It has helped me come out of my shell from being someone who's shy, don't talk, very quiet, to someone who's a bit more talkative. Being able to have this opportunity really has shaped who I am today, and that if I were given the opportunity to change something, I would not, because I like the way I am now. The hardest thing about being an indoor skydiver is having to really commit my time and effort into the sport, but I feel that what comes out of that effort and time really is worth it. Some life lessons that I've learned is to not be complacent in the time that has been given to me, and that the supporters, such as my parents, my teammates, they have given to me, that I shouldn't take it for granted, and that I should really put it to good use in my trainings, in my daily lives. I'm really grateful that once I've started Dynamic, like for maybe around 2 years now, I'm already competing at the world level, which is really a big accomplishment to me.
My name is Vera, and I've been doing indoor skydiving for almost 7 years. I feel like indoor skydiving has really impacted my life, and now that I've done it for so long, I can't imagine my life without it. Indoor skydiving has taught me a lot of things like sportsmanship and supporting my team members as well, and it has also taught me a lot of teamwork, because when we compete in a team usually. So it always helps me with my school and my studies, especially in group projects. The main sacrifice that I have to make now is probably my free time, because now that I'm in secondary school and I'm older, a lot of my friends go out all the time. So sometimes I feel like a bit left out when I go to training and I'm not able to spend time with them. But when I go for competitions and all the experience just makes it worth it. I I think the hardest thing for me is definitely training or time management during training for the competitions, because sometimes I have exams during trainings and I have to manage how to study and then also go for my training. So I feel like that's the most difficult part. I do enjoy the vibes at the competition because it's really exciting, but it's also like a bit nerve-wracking. But I feel like the best part of going to competitions is seeing all of our friends that we haven't seen in like over a year. Because we've been competing for so long, and I feel like the pressure is really on us to kind of like win. I feel like sometimes when we don't win, the media might portray it as like a loss or something, but if we really tried our best, then I feel that it's okay. A lot of pressure that I get is a lot of people comparing me with my sister. They expect me to be like on her level most of the time. I feel like that's the biggest pressure that I get. It's gonna be a lot harder for us, and it will help us grow as athletes, and it will help us grow in the sport. And it will also show the other competitors that even if we're young, to not underestimate us, because we are really strong flyers. So I would really like to move up into the open category. I'm pretty excited to compete with my sister, and I've always wanted to compete with her. Also because my grandfather has had this dream of us competing together in many international competitions, and I would really like to fulfill it.
Hi, my name is Isabel, and I've been indoor skydiving for 9 years. I feel like the sport has made a really big impact on me, and it has changed many aspects of my life for the better. I've learned a lot of things from the sport. I've learned more about sportsmanship, and I've also learned how to work well as a team and to persevere whenever things get hard. About the pressures I feel as a competitive indoor skydiver, it can be quite hard to juggle both the sport and my homework and schoolwork. I'll have to bring my schoolwork with me whenever I go overseas for competitions so that I can work on it and ensure that I'm not too far behind when I return back to school. I had a back surgery for scoliosis a few years ago. Due to this, they actually implanted a metal rod in my spine to keep it straight. This has actually changed my flying style quite a bit, as I have a background in rhythmic gymnastics and I'm very used to doing flexible moves whenever I do indoor skydiving. However, with the rod in my back, it's much harder to do moves like that, so I've had to adapt and change my flying style to suit it. I'm working on more strong and fast flying, and I'm also broadening out into other disciplines like dynamic, which requires less flexibility and more speed flying.
competition, and I've been flying for about 13 years. Skydiving has been literally my whole life since I started since young, and I would say it's literally shaped me to be who I am today, how I view life, and how in terms of my mental, and how mature I am as a person. With the competition and the training, it definitely made me stronger as a person, because you have to put in a lot of sacrifices inside to train for a competition, and you need a lot of you need to be responsible, and you have to have a lot of discipline in order to keep up with the high level of training. In the past, during the competition, I feel very nervous myself, but it was very narrow-minded of me, where I just think about myself. But right now, as I grew up, I feel like it's more responsibility weighing on myself, because I'm thinking more for how my teammates feel more than myself as well, because this is a team event, so I need to be able to cope with and juggle between how my teammates feel. And I think, yeah, the pressure is being able to be on the same frequency, not just myself towards how I feel towards competition, but how my teammates feel towards competition as well. When we were younger, we had to sacrifice play time with our friends, or the social time that we could have hang out with our friends instead of training. But right now, as we got older, we had a lot more responsibilities on our shoulders. So for me, it would be for university, school, where I have to juggle between studying as well as training at such a high level. And especially during this competition, I am skipping my finals to come for the World Championship. So that means that I have to go back and do a makeup finals exam. And it also means responsibility that I have to be disciplined enough to study on the go. Whenever I'm not training, I have to be studying. If I were to go back in time, I would not change a single thing, because indoor skydiving has changed my life completely, and I do not regret anything.
Sorry, could you repeat that?